Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Rock Bottom Airsoft. It's good to see you again. If it's your first time here, then as always, it is good to see you and I hope you're going to stick around. Okay, well, bit of a change to our normal schedule here. We're on a midweek video. Those of you who follow the channel will already know I normally upload 2 videos a week. We normally do one midweek, normally on a Wednesday. And those are normally gameplay type videos, looking at products out in the field, using them in game, seeing how they get on, and also just general gameplay videos. And at the weekend, normally on a Saturday, I'll look to do a studio video, such as this one, where we look at airsoft replica reviews, gear reviews, a bit of tech, a bit of everything really that's included in our wonderful sport and hobby that is airsoft. So with that in mind, I thought I'd do 2 studio videos this week. I've got more gameplay footage, which will be out next Wednesday as normal, and another studio video this coming weekend, but I've got a lot of stuff I need to get through, so I thought we'd do another studio video. So I hope that's alright with you guys. Okay, now I'm a bit excited about this one. All you guys that know me already or who follow the channel already will know that there's nothing I love more than a new replica, and that's exactly what we've got here. So we're going to get straight into it. Today we're going to do an unboxing of my latest replica. If you follow the channel on Facebook or Instagram, Rock Bottom Airsoft is on there, you'll know that I've been teasing a few images of some parts I've been getting together for a new little project I'm going to be looking at doing. Before I get into the project though, I thought we'll unbox the replica as standard, we'll have a look at the replica as standard, I'll maybe get some gameplay footage of me using it in the field as standard, and then we can get a full understanding of how it goes. So, what are we actually looking at today? Well, this is my latest purchase. I bought this replica from my home site, which is Tazball Airsoft. If any of you guys are here in the Scottish Highlands and you're looking for a game of airsoft, you can check out Tazball Airsoft on Facebook. And also, Taz is able to get hold of most replicas or kit that you might want if you're looking to buy yourself some gear. So, what is it? Well, you could probably tell from the box that it's a JG or Jing Gong Works. JG are at the more affordable end of airsoft normally. Their replicas, a lot of them are really good. I've had lots of good experiences with JG products. And they do some very affordable airsoft replicas, and they also do some more unusual airsoft replicas that some of the manufacturers, you know, might not bother with, as it were. So, this one, what is it? Well, this is a JG Works MAC 10, as you probably gathered from the thumbnail already. This MAC 10 is one that I looked at because it's electric. Now, there are options for MAC 11s and things that are basically gas, insane rates of fire. I did consider one of them, but as we work on the more affordable end of things, you can get one of these for quite a reasonable amount of money. This particular one, if you're here in the UK, you can get one for around about 110 British pounds. Again, as always, I'll leave a link in the description to where you can get one here in the UK. When I had a quick look round for you guys in the United States, in America, they varied. But the average price I was coming across was $150. So 110 British pounds or $150 is what you can get one of these for. Obviously, I would say that's more affordable bracket. It's not too expensive, it's not too cheap, just puts you nicely affordable. Now, the MAC 10, or the Military Armament Corporation 10, as its full name is, is a real firearm that's seen use all over the globe. It's chambered in 9mm or 45 ACP in the firearm world, and I think, for me anyway, the most famous sites I've seen it in for movies and that type of thing is it was in use by special forces in the Vietnam War in Vietnam. So, you know, if you're looking for a Vietnam loadout with something a little bit different, the MAC 10 could be the choice for yourself instead of the usual M16A1 or M14. So, without further ado, let's have a look at the box. Well, I think JG have vastly improved their packaging if this one is to go on. It's a nicely looking box. It's got Airsoft written on there, no image of the replica itself, but you know, it looks professional, it looks nice. On the side here, if you can make that out, it's just got a label saying what's in the box. On the other side here, it's got a few warnings and cautions, a little bit more of what's in the box. On this side here, we've got a big JG Works insignia, and again, nothing on there. On the back, nothing. It's just blank. So, let's open her up and have a see. Now, it is a good thick box. This cardboard is quite thick, so it should be pretty safe in transportation. Let's put that to one side. Again, protective foam over the top there, so that's good, that's nice, and it's thick foam as well, so that should well protect anything in transit. First thing we come to, apart from the little baggie of silica gel, which keeps it nice and dry, again in transit and storage. You can keep hold of those, keep them in your gun bag. I use them, just keeps any moisture out of your gun bag, especially if you store your replicas in a case or a bag. Keep one of them in there, keep it nice and dry, stop it getting affected by the weather. And then in here, let's move the box out of the way for now, but in here we get a nice looking manual. That is really well packaged, guys. I mean, it comes in a little baggie. Let's have a look what's in the bag. If I can get in there with these gloves on. Look at that. We're in. Okay, so we get like a magazine sized manual, it looks like. It's definitely stuck in here anyway. Let's see if we can get this out. Okay. You also get a target. So we'll get that out of the way for now. There's a nice target there if you're going to do some plinking in the garden or trying it out and you want a target. And then, of course, we've got our instruction manual. Now, I haven't had a look at this replica at all. I paid 115 British pounds for this one, so I bought this myself. I've not opened it. I've not had a look at it, so we're basically having a look at it together. It's been sat in my room since Sunday when I picked it up at my last Airsoft game. So, pretty excited about it. So, the instruction manual here, again, it's very professional looking, nice glossy finish on the paper, a good size. First page, usual warnings, don't shoot yourself, don't shoot other people with it, don't dismantle it, you know, don't walk around town with it, that type of thing. Don't shoot your pets with it, with the looks of it as well. Not that we should be doing any of those things. All these things bring Airsoft into a bad name, so we don't want to do that. But obviously dismantling it, I'm probably going to be doing that. So it's basically saying don't dismantle it if you're not going to be able to repair it. And then we've got our usual mixture of Chinese and English language in the instructions. I think basically it's a reiteration of warnings, making sure you're not shooting people, don't get it in your eye, that type of thing. Then we've got a list of what should be in the box. And we've got a breakdown of how to operate the replica. A list of parts and controls on the replica. How to put it on safe and fire. How to change it from semi-auto to full auto, how to replace the battery in there, and how to load the magazine, which is quite strange. That shows them loading it with a speed loader. I was under the impression this particular replica used a high cap, but we'll get to that when we have a look at it. Details on how to put the big suppressor on there, which we'll have a look at in a minute. Details about how to dismantle the suppressor, which is quite good if you wanted to modify it anyway. It looks like they give you instructions on how to take that apart. And then instructions on shooting and hop up and how to extend the stock. It does go into a lot of detail, this. It's a good instruction manual, guys. A very good looking instruction manual. Even though it's mainly in Chinese, the pictures and that pretty much give you a good idea on how to operate the replica and how to use it. There's your instructions on how to use the hop up. Instructions a little bit on how to clean it, which is nice. Got a breakdown of how it works. That's unusual. I've not come across that in a replica before. Details about hop up. More details about your battery and about dismantling the replica, about lubrication and cleaning, which is nice to see. How to clean the barrel. Again, this is all good stuff to see, guys. You don't always see this in Airsoft replica instructions, so they have gone quite in depth. Again, instructions on how to take down the replica to a certain point, which is good to see. You don't normally get that. It's usually a bit of research. And then, as you guys all know, one of my favourite aspects of a good user manual for a replica a complete breakdown of the replica and part numbers should you need to order spares or replacements on the 2 back pages. So everything you need there with part numbers if you ever needed to order replacements. So I would say that I am impressed with that instruction manual. Everything about it screams quality, even though we're on an affordable replica. So that's a good job by JG, I really like that. Well, let's get on to the main event, which is the replica. Right. Another packet of silica gel, so you can't go wrong with that. I'm going to keep it nice and dry. As is the usual case with most replicas, get a free bag of BBs. To be honest guys, I won't be using those apart from in my gas powered grenades. They're worth keeping for that, but they're not worth using in your replicas. Free BBs, sometimes they're alright, but most of the time not something I would particularly bother with. Looks like we've got our charger here. Now, I am aware from what I've read on this that it comes with an EU charger. Again, the packaging on this, guys, the foam, everything's really tight in here. It's hard to get out, but that is no bad thing because it does mean it's nice and safe in transit. Now, that is good. It's a proper British UK plug, which is good for us here in the UK. So that tells me then that if you were to buy one of these in Europe or the States, you would get the correct plug for your particular country. All the previous reading I've done on this said that they come with a European standard plug, so we'd have to use an adapter here in the UK. But this one is good to go out of the box. We can use that in the UK, and if you're in the States or Europe, I'd imagine you'll get the 2-pin plug. So that's great. So there we go, we've got our charger. The charger does specifically say on it that it's for a 7.2 volt battery, and I believe that this charger will only really work with the battery that's supplied, which I believe should be in here somewhere if I can get it out. Again, everything is so well packaged in here, it's not easy to get at. There you go, that is your battery, specific to this replica and AEPs in general, because this is an AEP, guys, it's not an AEG. It's an AEP, and the only difference is you've got automatic electric gun is AEG, like a full-size replica, like an AR-based replica or an AK. And this one is based on an AEP gearbox, which is an automatic electric pistol. So basically the same gearbox you'd get in something like a G-series pistol that works on electric rather than gas. And they use these batteries. Now this is a 7.2 volt micro battery. It's a NIMH battery, which is why this charger is specific to this battery. It's only for charging NIMH batteries. Now, if you've been looking at my posts on Facebook and Instagram, you'll know that I've bought a LiPo adapting rig and also a small LiPo battery, which I cannot charge with this battery charger. So be aware of that, guys. This charger will only work with these NIMH AEP batteries. I'm not going to go into details too much on about what I've got planned for this replica, but all the reading I've done has said that it does do well with a LiPo battery, which is why one of the things I'm going to do to it is convert it for LiPo use. So you get your charger, your battery and your BBs pretty much ready to go from the get-go. Now also in here, which is absolutely huge, and again, not easy to get out because everything's so well packaged, is a massive suppressor. That, guys, is a big mock suppressor. That's going to look awesome on the replica, and it's coated in kind of a rubberized finish, which is nice. That's very professional. So we'll pop that off to one side for now. We've got the big suppressor there. The next thing that's in this box, again, I just can't describe, guys, how well packaged this is. It's really hard to get anything out of here because it's properly squeezed into the foam. It's protected. Here we have our magazine. It's a high capacity magazine, as I suspected. You've got your winding wheel on the end there for winding up the tension on the spring. And there's a little door on the top for loading your BBs. So you do not need a speed loader for this one. You can just pour them straight in. It is a metal magazine, full metal magazine, plastic feed on the top, and a plastic wheel on the bottom. But apart from that, it is full metal, so that is nice. And I think that then gets us on to the main event, which, if I can get it out, we shall have a look and see how the actual replica itself looks. Okay, I think that is that out of there. So there we go, guys. That is the MAC 10 out of the box. Looks nice. It's got a barrel protector on there. I don't think it's orange barrel. Let's pop that to one side and just check we've got everything out of the box here. Yes, indeed. I think we have everything out of there. Now, what I'm a little disappointed about is no free jamming rod, guys. You usually get a free unjamming rod with these things. No unjamming rod in this one. So there we go, guys. That's pretty much everything that you get in the box. I think what we'll do now is we will have a look around the replica, as we always do. Have a quick wander, see what you think of it, see how you think it looks, and then we'll get back to a few details about this replica. Okay, bear with me, guys. Okay guys, there we go. We've had a quick wander around it. I think it looks awesome, but that's just me, guys, you know what I mean. I kind of like the look of it. I think it definitely looks different. It looks superb. Even with the stock retracted, it's still got some length with it with that suppressor on. You know, it's pretty cool. Like I say, it's an AEP gearbox, guys, so I'm not expecting magical things. From what I've read up on, the rate of fire is pretty low, and that's due to it being a NIMH battery, this low power NIMH 7.2 volt battery. Now I'm hoping to improve that before I do any shooting with a little bit of work to it. Which I'll do another video at another time where we do a bit of a shooting test with it with my upgrades installed, and also where we'll use it in the field and see how it performs. What I might do though is I might do a gameplay video with it as standard before we do my overall final thoughts with my upgrades in, because I want to let you know how easy it is or difficult it is to make any upgrades to this replica. As I mentioned earlier, this thing is good to go out of the box if you just want it as standard. You get your charger and your battery included as part of the price, so that's in there. The other thing to mention is you noticed the orange tip before. It's not an orange tip. I think you guys over in the United States, yours will come with an orange tip on the threaded part of the barrel, which this suppressor threads onto. But that is just for us here in the UK. It's just a barrel cover. It's just a protector. It fits on the outside of the barrel, but it also fits in the end of the suppressor as well. If you require a barrel bung at your particular field when you're playing, when you go in the safe zone. So you do get that included with it as well. Now, one thing with AEPs that I've read on this one is the actual power of it is pretty good. I believe people are averaging between 250 to 300 feet per second. I'll do my own testing on that and see where we get for that level of performance. The construction of the replica is probably what we should look at next. Now, the upper here is polymer. The vast majority of it is polymer. The grip is polymer. It's all pretty much polymer. The suppressor, the MOC suppressor is polymer. The charging handle is polymer. However, your open sights front and back are metal. Your magazine is metal. Your trigger is metal. All the pins and fastenings are metal, and of course the folding stock here on the back is metal. Now to fold the stock, I've discovered, is not that easy. I tried doing it off camera, but I think it's because it's new. So let me just fold that out for you. You basically squeeze it in at the back there, and that locks down your shoulder brace. And then underneath, if you can make that out, guys, underneath there's a little button here. You press the button and that allows it to slide out, and then it locks in place. If you want to remove this stock altogether, you can do. You just press the button and slide it out, and it just becomes a really big pistol effectively. I'm going to be leaving the stock on, but as you can see, guys, if you can make that out on camera, it really is quite long when you've got the suppressor on and the stock. What I would say is, you guys probably can't make out, but I've been told that the stock is terrible. Now, the stock is uncomfortable to lean down on. It's not something you're going to want to spend any time leaning on, but it does feel okay in the shoulder if you're just going to be tracing the BBs like I do. So, you know, if you're not using the sights, it's probably going to work all right for you. But if you're going to be putting your head on that stock, it's not going to be the most comfortable thing in the world. But it is metal, so it is strong. As I say, the grip for actually holding it, now I'm quite lucky, I have big hands, so I can hold the grip quite well. If you have smaller hands, I would suggest that that grip could be a problem. It's quite a large grip, it's quite chunky, it takes up a lot of your hand. Weight-wise, it's very front heavy, guys, really front heavy. The sling point here is metal as well. That sling point primarily is for a strap. If you look up pictures of the firearm MAC 10, you'll see a strap, and the idea is that is you hold the strap and it stops your vertical recoil when you're on full auto, which isn't an issue for us at Airsoft, but I wouldn't mind getting hold of a strap just to make it a little bit more authentic. Size-wise, as you can probably make out from my hands, it's a slightly big pistol, basically. Well, a very big pistol, I suppose. On this side here, you have absolutely no markings whatsoever. You've got your selector switch. You can do semi, or you can do full auto. So just a simple selector switch on there. If we turn the replica over on this side, you do have a serial number. I would hope that serial number will be specific to your particular MAC 10 replica from JG, and you also have the JG Works insignia on the ejection port there. If you pull the charging handle to the rear, that reveals your hop-up. The hop-up is adjustable. It's a rotary style hop-up, really easy to get to, which is nice. The ejection port is not lock backable. You can't lock it. It's just held with your finger on a spring, but you know, it works. And then here also on this side we have a safety switch. Currently it is set to safe when it's slid to the rear, which is just a trigger block. If you slide it forward, that's you on fire and the trigger can be pulled. Safe, trigger block basically. Now in order to replace the battery in this, I'm under the impression that it is very simple to replace. We have a pin at the front that we have to slide out. You can see that that pin has slid out there, and when the pin slides out, you don't have to slide it out much. The front end simply pulls off, and that, guys, is where your battery goes. You just slot the battery in. You have to have a look there. Basically, you've got your contacts on the front of the battery. It just slides in, and then it locks in place. You put your front back on, which we will do just now, and then we don't lose any parts. Front back on, pin back through, and that's it, guys. Really easy to change batteries on it, which is a good thing. As I say, the magazine is metal, full metal. Your release for the magazine is a paddle release on the rear, so you could class that as ambidextrous. You just basically pull down on that, and that releases your magazine. I believe magazines are achievable. You can get them at the moment. You can buy them. And again, 400 rounds, that's quite a lot of rounds. That should be good. I think this would make a decent sidearm, especially if you didn't want to bother with the suppressor. As I mentioned earlier, the suppressor is simply screwed on. One thing I would be a little bit edgy about on this, if I were looking at disadvantages of it, is the fact that this outer barrel is plastic, I believe. Oh no, sorry guys, I stand corrected. You have a metal outer barrel, which is great, which also has a reverse thread for 14mm counterclockwise threads under this cover. Wouldn't use it myself. I'm going to stick with this suppressor that comes with it. As I say, the plastic, I can't really tell it's plastic. There's a good weight to it, especially with the magazine in it. It's very heavy, much heavier than your average gas blowback pistol. So really quite heavy. It does feel like a submachine gun. As I say, the parts that need to be metal pretty much are metal. Your sling points, your pins, your stock, your magazine, pretty much everything else, plastic. The suppressor, as I mentioned earlier, has got this nice kind of rubberized coating on it. If you've ever encountered a JG Bar 10 sniper rifle, it's the same sort of rubberized coating on this suppressor that they would have on the stock of one of those rifles. So, you know, that's pretty nice as well. So there you go, guys. That is the JG MAC 10 unboxed and a few features of it. I think it looks really nice. I'm glad I've got it in the collection. I'll look forward to doing a shooting test with it and a little bit of gameplay. Those will be in a future video. I'll also hopefully get you guys some videos out of how to do the various upgrades to this that I do after I've got to grips with doing the upgrades myself. Don't want to try and show you guys how to do it if I can't do it myself. So I'll have a look how difficult or easy it is, and then we'll do an overview of that and maybe get a couple of tech videos out showing you how to do the upgrades that I managed to accomplish in it. As far as I can tell with this suppressor, guys, I don't think it's functional, because if you can make that out on camera, it's just got a long plastic tube in the middle of there. I think you can add foam if you prefer, because you can take it apart, this suppressor, or as I mentioned, here in the UK at least, you can fit any suppressor you want on the end there. Me personally, I'll probably have the suppressor on there permanently just for the looks. I think it looks really cool. So for the money you pay, guys, that's what you get. 110 British pounds on average, or 150 American dollars, and that will get you what I would class as a slightly unusual to see on the field submachine gun or machine pistol. And, you know, if you're going for a Vietnam loadout especially, it'll look cool on that. But I definitely haven't seen one of these in use in game over here. And my home site, I don't think I've ever seen anybody use one of these on the field. But that will change, because I will certainly be using this on the field. Okay, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed that unboxing and little brief overview of what are my first impressions of this JG MAC 10. If you did like it, then please do drop a like on the video. If you have any questions, or questions in general about Airsoft or this particular replica, then drop me a comment below. I will always respond to a comment. Might not get back to you straight away, but I will always respond. And if you've been enjoying my series of videos, then do please get subscribed to the channel. That way you won't miss any of my uploads. But apart from that, thanks very much for watching, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one.